Station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
A toddler shot dead and 4 teenagers are fighting for their lives after violence in Dumfries. Today we get a look at how a neighbor ran to help. A live look at the U.S. Capitol heading into day 3 of a vote for the speakership. Kevin McCarthy fighting for his political career against members of his own party. What we can expect on the Hill today. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Damon Madsen joins us with the latest check on the forecast. Damon, went outside a few minutes ago. Not quite as warm as yesterday, but man, I'm going to take it.
That is the best way to sum it up right there, Mark. Yeah, we are certainly looking at those temperatures dropping down here now, but we can still get out and enjoy those temperatures today because it hasn't quite turned chilly yet. Look at those readings as of noon. There you have it, still right around 60 degrees. We have upper 50s in Winchester, Martinsburg, Hagerstown, and then back down toward Manassas. But we even have some lower 60s mixed in Waldorf, Leesburg, and Frederick. And that's about where those temperatures should stay as we move ahead into the rest of the afternoon. But showing that temperature change from 24 hours ago, yes, a little bit cooler than it has been in recent days, but definitely not chilly by any stretch of the imagination. So here you have it as we go through the afternoon over the next few hours, right there hovering around that 60-degree mark. There is a good bit of cloud cover still hanging with us. That is likely to stick around with some peaks of sunshine as we move forward toward the evening time. But will this cloud cover lead to another round of light precipitation later on tonight? We'll have a check coming up here in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. A toddler is dead and 4 teenagers fighting for their lives after being shot in Dumfries, Virginia yesterday morning. Today, we're learning more. DC News Now's Lex Juarez spoke with neighbors who described the scene as gruesome.
Neighbors are still processing what they saw and heard nearly 24 hours after 5 kids were shot. 4 of them hit inside of this townhome, and the oldest shot right here in this parking lot. It's a scene that's hard for them to put into words, but they were able to share with me what the Ring doorbell camera caught. And just a warning, you will hear loud gunshots.
It was pretty bad. When we called 911, pretty much we came outside and the girl was screaming, saying, "Help me." Confusion
and fear. Shahruz Khan says that was the immediate feeling in this Dumfries neighborhood.
We just thought that she was just hiding from cover, like all of us was in a way. We were kind of confused. But then as soon as she said, "Help me, I don't want to die," we all ran upstairs. We ran up there. Springing into action, running to help his 17-year-old neighbor, who he says had been shot twice, even though he had no idea exactly how to help. It was pretty bad. I mean, honestly, I was shaking. I didn't know if should I hold her? Should I do this? Khan said the scene was gruesome. Prince William County Police got there within minutes. After going inside of the house, it was clear the situation was worse than anyone thought. 3 more teenagers and a 3-year-old girl were also shot inside of the home, the toddler dying on the scene. It's kind of just crazy, honestly. You never thought or ever imagined in your lifetime you would have something like this will ever happen. Officers arrested this man, 20-year-old Kenyatta Lee Oglesby, later that morning. He's charged with murder and multiple counts of aggravated malicious wounding. Police say the 17-year-old and Oglesby were dating and that he had been recently living in the townhome. The shooting has neighbors feeling uneasy, especially with stray bullets flying into their homes. The 4 teenagers are still in the hospital. Oglesby is being held without bond. As far as what led to the shooting, that is still under investigation. In Dumfries, Virginia, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Lex, thank you. Developing out of Utah, police say 8 people, including 5 children, have been shot to death. It happened inside a home in Enoch City. Officials say that they were all members of the same family. The victims were found when police did a welfare check on the home yesterday. Investigators have not provided a motive for the killings. In the wake of the violence, the local community is shaken up.
Many of us have served with them in church, in community, and gone to school with these individuals. And so this community at this time is hurting. They're feeling lost. They're feeling pain. They have a lot of questions, which is natural, and they're here to support.
Investigators have not been able to provide more details, but say there is no active threat to the public. In Baltimore, a pair of gunmen opened fire on a group of high school students out on their lunch break, killing one and injuring 4 more. Police say the students were shot at a shopping center next to their school in southwest Baltimore yesterday. The boy who was killed was 16 years old. The other 4 who were shot are between the ages of 17 and 18. So far, there have been no arrests. A Potomac man is facing 9 years in prison in connection to an armed carjacking in downtown Bethesda last June. Police say Herbert Randall was 18 years old when it happened and was there with 3 other teenagers. They say that the victims were getting their vehicle when one of the teenagers pointed a gun at the driver and demanded the keys. Psychologist Dr. Jessica Hassan testified on behalf of Randall's mental health and worries the justice system is not prepared to handle problems regarding mental health.
One of the things that came up is that the criminal justice system is not really equipped to handle the mental health crisis that's been happening. I mean, frankly, the mental health system is not equipped to handle the mental health crisis that's been happening.
Dr. Hassan added that it's not only about holding people accountable, but putting them in places where they can get help and avoid repeat offenses. In the district, TSA agents at Reagan International Airport discovered a semi-automatic folding rifle in a traveler's carry-on luggage. This gun you see here was packed inside of a backpack with 3 magazines containing over 50 rounds of ammo. TSA told travelers that if you leave a weapon incorrectly packed in your bag, you could face fines up to almost $15,000. Illegally packing guns can also affect your TSA pre-check status. A Metro train operator is out of a job this morning. He's accused of operating the train drunk. That new report from Metro tells us the Blue Line train he was driving went straight past the Van Dorn station, then stopped at Franciona, Springfield, for 30 minutes before allowing passengers to get off. And that's when Metro officials were tipped off to a potential problem. This all happened around 10 o'clock at night back on December 23rd. Metro tells us that operator will not be allowed to return to work. A Metro Transit police report doesn't name the operator, but confirms that he was arrested, charged with DWI, which is driving while intoxicated, and he had worked for Metro since 2017 and worked as a train operator since 2019. Metro also tells us they do follow a random drug and alcohol testing protocol. Metro's independent safety watchdog, the Washington Metro Rail Safety Commission, is aware of what happened. Republicans once again were unable to elect a speaker as GOP nominee Kevin McCarthy failed to hold the majority. For more on the divide, we go to Hannah Brandt on Capitol Hill.
Well, it's Groundhog Day.
The second day of voting for Speaker felt like a replay of the first. Again, lawmakers voted 3 times and still no one got enough votes.
Democracy is messy.
The same group of conservatives held their ground against electing Congressman Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. And Congressman Scott Perry says the holdouts aren't giving in.
We're not going to take any more of Washington being broken.
Even a message from former President Trump urging all Republicans to back McCarthy failed to sway any votes, including Trump loyalist Congresswoman Lauren Boebert.
The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes and it's time to withdraw.
As the chaos continues,
Those opposed say no.
President Biden says the ongoing deadlock is a bad look.
It's embarrassing for the country.
And many lawmakers echoed that concern because they can't move forward until a leader is in place. Democrat Pete Aguilar says his party is tired of waiting to get to work.
This is a crisis of the Congress, and it's a crisis at the hands of the Republican dysfunction.
After hours of closed-door meetings among Republicans, McCarthy is still vowing to stay in the fight.
Do you have a deal with those guys right now?
Not yet, but a lot of progress.
Although it seems individual party members will not budge, the House will reconvene today at noon in hopes of making, forward progress. Well, President Biden and Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell joined forces in Kentucky to announce new infrastructure projects. Our Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has the latest.
Standing under the Brent Spence Bridge connecting Kentucky and Ohio, President Biden announced the busy trucking route is getting a $1.6 billion facelift.
I-75 alone carries $2 billion of freight.
The upgrades are a result of the bipartisan infrastructure law Congress passed more than a year ago.
The most significant investment in American roads, bridges, since the Eisenhower Interstate Highway System.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell joined President Biden in his home state of Kentucky Wednesday for the announcement.
And this bridge, I think, symbolizes the coming together of both sides on something that both sides thought was important to try to get an outcome.
The White House says the trip was aimed at sending a message of bipartisanship as President Biden starts the second half of his first term. Also with the president was Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, who says he spent 20 years pushing for these repairs.
It means the 160,000 Americans who cross this bridge every single day, 3%, as Rob said, 3% of the GDP every day crossing this bridge. It means that all of them will benefit.
President Biden says other parts of the country can expect major repairs to their roads and bridges soon. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
The Biden administration on Thursday said it would immediately begin turning away Cubans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans who cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally, a major expansion of an existing effort to stop Venezuelans attempting to enter the U.S. Instead, the administration will accept 30,000 people per month from the four nations for 2 years and offer the ability to legally work as long as they come legally and have eligible sponsors and pass vetting and background checks. These four affected nations are among those where migrant border crossings have risen most sharply, with no easy way to quickly return migrants to their home countries. The new policy could result in 360,000 people from these four nations lawfully entering the country in a year, but currently far more people from those countries are attempting to cross onto the U.S. on foot. Migrants from those four countries were stopped 82,286 times in November alone.